Hey Dollhouse people, so for those of you who don't know, I purchased this blue dollhouse several weeks ago, maybe a couple months now. It came with not only about 45 years of dirt and grime and dust on it, it also came with a few mysteries. I talked about that in a previous video, which I'll put the link down below if you want to check that out to see how it came initially. But I've done a couple before and afters of several of the rooms here, and then I'm going to touch on some of the mysteries kind of at the end of the video, some uncovers. So the first room I'm going to talk about is the pink room, which is a bedroom, and here's kind of the before picture of how I got this space. So a couple of things I did, of course, I cleaned it, which actually made it look really good. And then the dollhouse came with a box of stuff. So I kind of went through it and I found out that it had all this trim in pink. And I just felt like this pink trim went with this pink room. So I went ahead and fixed the wallpaper. I didn't want to remove the wallpaper. I wanted to leave it just as is, how it was intended. And I went ahead and put the trim in. I fixed the flooring as much as I could. It had a little warping in it, so that there's actually just weight on that as I put a little glue underneath there to kind of keep it from warping. So again, here's the before and the after, and I think it really looks beautiful, and I can't help myself, but I do love that pink color. So the next room is, I would say it's probably the office. I would say that's the office. Again, the dollhouse box that came with it had a ton of this trim in it, and so I decided to use it throughout the house. I felt like that's what it was intended for, so that's what I wanted to do. The flooring had some of the wire tape for the electrical, which in this room did not work anymore. I don't know why they ran it across this beautiful wood floor. So because it wasn't working, I went ahead and peeled it up. Now it left a nice gooey residue and it pulled up some of the stain as well. So I went ahead and used some goof off here and got a lot of the stickiness off, and that's kind of what the floor looked like. And then what I did was I used these furniture repair markers on the flooring. Highly recommend them, especially for the small dollhouse stuff. I did polish them with some Old English. I added the trim to some spaces. I fixed the wallpaper. So here's that before again to give you an idea of what it looked like, and then the after. Which I'm really happy about. So the next room is the living room. So it needed wallpaper. It had no wallpaper. The stairs were broken off. This room actually does have some electrical, and the flooring was in kind of bad condition. It had some, it looks like some paint or something splattered on it, and I couldn't just get this up. So what I had to do was sand it down, and then I used those furniture pen repair markers again, covered it up, did the Old English, and then this is the way the flooring turned out, which actually looked really great. Used that trim again in this space. I did have to go to my own stash of wallpaper. Everything else in pretty much I used that I felt like was intended for the dollhouse that came in that box of stuff. So I found some wallpaper that I felt like would go great based on the other wallpapers in this dollhouse and added that. So again, here's the before of how I inherited this dollhouse, and then here's the after, okay? And the thing is, this room has electrical. I did not add any electrical at this time. The walls where the electrical is, all I did was just double-sided tape, and I taped the wallpaper up so that I can just peel it back when it's time to add electrical, or the next owner can do that. So now we're going to take a look at the bathroom. So the bathroom has this, again, now no electrical in this bathroom. The electrical was also broken. So in this room, you would probably have to add a battery-operated light, which is fine. The bathtub is built in. Again, keeping with the integrity of what was already there, I just cleaned this bathroom, and then the toilet did come with this dollhouse. It was already in there, but it was unfortunately broken, the pipe. So what I did was I actually had, this is a popsicle stick that I had because I like to do a lot of baking. So I just removed what was left of that stick, sanded it down, used the furniture repair pens again to kind of cover up any of the scratch marks and anything from the sanding, and then glued that piece back together. So again, here is the before of how I inherited this dollhouse, and then voila, There it is, the beautiful after. The next room is the kitchen slash dining room. This is how I inherited the dollhouse. Some electrical does still work in this room as well. So the thing is it's halfway wallpapered. The other half that is not wallpapered, the box of goodies that came with the dollhouse did not have additional wallpaper. So I did have some extra in my own stash. It was the same color combination, but it is clearly a different pattern. So what I did was I took some balsa wood, some little thicker balsa wood, and I created room dividers. I did stain them with those oak colored furniture repair pens, and then I used these little like corbels, I would call them. That's not the right word, but anyway, they actually came in that dollhouse box too. So I did color those in as well. I glued them on the sticks to kind of make these like small room dividers, as you can see here. And then of course I had plenty of that trim that did come with the dollhouse. So here's the before of how the room came. And then here's the finished project with the trim and the room dividers. So you can see you've got two different wallpapers there. Now you have distinct space between what the kitchen will be, what the dining room would be. I pushed the dining room toward more of the window because as you entered Victorian houses, you would typically look over and find a sitting and a dining room on the other side, which is still very relevant for the way our houses are built today. So there is another room upstairs, which I would say was like the baby's room or the children's room. I did turn it into a baby's room. So here's how I inherited this piece. Now there is electrical working in this space as well on the right hand side, but on the left hand side it does not work. So I did remove that wired tape there. I think in order for this to really have to work, I'd have to actually lift up all the flooring in the dollhouse, which I did not want to do. So I did remove that and kind of patched up the wall a little bit. I found this door in that box of goodies and some white trim. So the door was missing in the front part of this room, which you can't actually see in these photos, and then the white trim I used. So in this case, I had a beach mural and a kind of a sandy marbled kind of look wallpaper piece. Actually, it's a scrapbook paper piece. And I did use that for one side of the wall here and then put the beach mural on the other side, and this is the end result. Okay, so let's get to the mystery. So one of the mysteries I solved, if you recall in the other video, I have this room space here that I couldn't get to. There was a full room here. I could see the window and I went around to the other side and I could not get in. So I decided that I just couldn't live my life without knowing what was inside this space. So I decided to drill into this room. I drilled and I drilled and I drilled and I drilled, and this wall is so thick. It's like 3 inches thick. It's crazy. Okay, maybe not that thick, but it's definitely 2 inches thick. It's definitely. So then all of a sudden I made 2 holes and I could see inside. And can you see that? In my mind, let me tell you right now that every movie I'd ever seen as a child came rushing back to me where, treasure hunting. And all of a sudden I was a Goonie uncovering treasures of the deep. And in my heart, I knew that this room had treasures. So I was thinking, money, jewels, One-Eyed Willie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm thinking, the Christ's cup that he drank out of at the Last Supper, And so here's more drill holes, right? So I need a saw, but the truth is my husband wasn't home when I started doing this. So he had the right tools and he knew where they were located, and I didn't want to, so I just kept drilling and I was just like trying to see inside, and you can see that a little light is coming through it, but I could barely see inside there. And of course, I don't see any glitz. I don't see anything shimmery, but anyway, my mind just cannot let go of the fact that there could be actual jewels in there. Okay, so my husband comes home from work and I'm so excited about this dang room that I'm like, please grab the other drill and open this wall for me. So he gets his tools and he starts drilling. And I'm, of course, filming over here like an absolute anticipation because I'm about to, I'm thinking of what it's going to be like when I'm on the news and I'm talking about how I got this dollhouse and I open it up and there's all these treasures inside. And here it is. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I cannot even tell you how much I felt like Geraldo in this moment. That moment when he opened Capone's vault and there was 0 inside, his face, I think, sums up exactly how I felt. So anyway, it was empty and all my dreams disappeared. So anyway, I was left with this wall that I had to fix, and I'm renovating the dollhouse anyway, so I was like, whatever. So anyway, I get out my joint compound and I start to fill that stuff in, and I sanded it down, fixed the wallpaper for this space, used some of that trim as well. There's the bookcase there in front of it, so that you can see. You can't see where the hidden room is. And then in that box also, I found these are the stairwell banisters, so I went ahead and going to install those. I painted it this really fun bright color because I wanted you to look in and your eye go right back to this wall and wonder why I did that, so that maybe you would want to reach in and see what might be behind that bookcase. So that's why I colored it this really fun bright color, which was aqua sky. Okay, so then I did that trim, and you can kind of see it's here with the bookcase. Any unsuspecting person may just look in there and see that there's a built-in bookcase, not knowing that behind it is a secret room filled of, well, nothing right now, which is a super bummer. But listen, I can't just let it go, right? I mean, I needed to fill it with what I felt like should have been there. So that's what I did. So inside you can see treasures galore, priceless paintings, gold, statues, jewels, and diamonds, and of course, One-Eyed Willie. So that still leaves us with 3 mysteries. 3 mysteries that I still have yet to find the answers to. So here are the things I still don't know. I don't know why the builder built this room going to nothing. If you remember, it started in the office. It did not open into the room. It opened out into the room. And so I feel like it was just an illusion that it would have, gone toward the staircase so that the little dollhouse person could go down. I still don't know why the stairwell didn't go to another staircase, that it just halfway stopped. Aside from, again, it was just another illusion from the builder that there would be stairs there. And last but certainly not least, the builder himself, Mr. Pete Lancaster. Who are you? I put this on Reddit. I put this on Facebook in hopes that somebody knew Mr. Pete Lancaster from Valencia, California, where the black mark was the phone number, which I did call. And unfortunately, the lady that answered did not know who I was talking about. So anyway, again, I'm putting it out there. If you know who this person is, or if you're a family member and you could tell me anything about the dollhouse, I'd love to know. So that is it for now. One thing I will tell you, that I am going to be putting this house on the market. I will not be keeping this house. It landed in my lap, and I have loved it, and I have gone through the house, but it's time for me to move on to other projects. I have many other dollhouses. I have loved this house, and so I will be selling it. If you are interested in the dollhouse, of course, you can message me, and I will not be shipping it. It is very, very heavy and very, very large. I would just prefer to have somebody come get it. That's usually how I do it anyway when I do sell the dollhouses that I build, or in this case, it's a flip. So that's all for this week. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and click that little subscribe button now, and I appreciate that. If you're interested in purchasing pre-owned dollhouse furniture and accessories, you can always check out my eBay website at Whitney6014. The link is here. And for other fun stuff and dollhouse miniatures, baking, other arts and crafts projects, I do post all that fun stuff on my Facebook page, so you can follow me there at Whitney LaBrie Events. And that's it. I hope to see you at either one of those places. And until then, have a great weekend.